Welcome to MarcusG.tv. I am Chef Marcus Giuliano, and I'm a chef on a mission. Jamie, what's going on today?
Marcus, we have a case of food fraud.
Oh, this is a project for truthinmenu.com, which is my website devoted to food fraud.
So, we recently visited a restaurant in New York City.
Yes.
Tell a little bit about the restaurant. Uncle Jack's Steak.
Uncle Jack's Steakhouse. We went to the one at 44 West 56th Street. There's 3 locations.
Yes, we sure did.
With identical menus, by the way.
We went on September 23rd.
Yep, Monday night.
Monday night. And what did we come across, Marcus?
Well, let me give a disclaimer first.
Sure, go ahead.
We don't know Jack personally. I'm sure Jack's a very nice guy. However, based upon our interactions with the staff on September 23rd and a phone call on September 25th, I'm seriously questioning their wording on their menu. Now again, I'm sure it's a great restaurant. They have great reviews. I'm sure Jack's a nice guy. He has a TV show. But again, based upon our findings, I'm a little upset right now.
Of course.
I'm very upset.
Have you had any previous issues with them before?
Yes, I have. Kobe beef has only been available in the U.S. since September 2012. That's it. Whenever you saw Kobe beef on a menu previous to that, it was not the real Kobe beef. 3 years prior to that, you could have gotten Japanese beef, but not the real Kobe from Kobe, Japan. Nothing from the small handful of processing plants was ever allowed for export into the U.S. However, you could buy Japanese beef, but at 2009, I think, with hoof and mouth disease, all Japanese beef was cut off. So if you saw Kobe beef on a menu prior to September, the 3rd week in September 2012, it was Phoebe. It was Phoebe beef. It was fake Kobe. It was American Wagyu. Prior to 2009, it could have been at a much higher price. It could have been just Japanese beef. Not saying it's bad, but it's not Kobe, and it shouldn't be Kobe. It shouldn't be listed as Kobe because Kobe is a licensed trademark of the beef producers in Kobe, Japan. Okay, just like champagne is champagne. Dijon mustard is Dijon mustard. Kobe beef is a licensed trademark. They don't go after that. They should go after it because they bust a lot of restaurants. With that being said, I did a video prior to Kobe beef being in the U.S. because Uncle Jack's had listed Kobe beef on their menu. With further investigation there, I found out that it was American Kobe, of course, and I knew that to begin with. So I have made a video in the past of Uncle Jack's serving Phoebe beef. It's really American style Kobe, which shouldn't be the word Kobe at all in it. It should just say American Wagyu. With that being said, Jamie.
Excellent. So let me go ahead and read to you.
Read the menu, what they have. This verbiage really got to me.
Their beef philosophy.
Their beef philosophy.
It's on the back of the menu. I don't know if you want to show the menu or not.
I'm gonna put it on the screen here so they can read it after you read it.
Okay. So their beef philosophy, USDA Prime is what it says, and this is in bold letters on the back of the menu. All of our beef is hand chosen by owner William Jack Deagle, working directly with ranchers in Nebraska, Iowa, and Kansas who raise their cattle to our exact specifications.
To his exact specifications. Okay.
And he works directly with them.
He works directly with them.
We purchase only the finest prime black Angus beef born and bred in the USA. The cattle graze on lush pastures.
Lush pastures, okay.
Throughout the Midwest and are fed a high-quality, corn-based ration that enhances meat tenderness and flavor. Once received, our beef is perfectly aged on premise for 28 to 35 days, depending on the size for optimum flavor. In each restaurant, we have our own aging facility to control time, temperature, and humidity, where the meat is rotated and examined every week by hand.
Okay, I'm not concerned with that.
Do you want me to go down to the Kobe beef?
Go down to the United States Department of Agriculture.
Okay, so the United States Department of Agriculture's highest beef grade is prime.
Prime, and they're serving prime.
The only grade we use at Uncle Jack's Steakhouse. Currently, 2% of all U.S. beef is graded at prime. The grading comes from quality and content of intramuscular fat.
Intramuscular fat. Okay, so we're going to break this verbiage down. I'm outraged when I read this. First off, I say, oh wow, this is great. Uncle Jack's Steakhouse is doing something really nice and working directly with the ranchers. This is great. This is farm to table. We ask the bartender, what farms does Uncle Jack's work with? Because it says here, works directly with ranchers in Nebraska, Iowa, and Kansas who raise their cattle to our, Uncle Jack's, exact specifications. That's great, right? I mean, to have a steakhouse and have to be a chef, to have a ranchers that are willing to go to your exact specifications are great. So we asked the bartender, where's the beef from? He says, what does he say, Jamie? Buckhead beef. I laughed. As soon as I heard that, I laughed. Buckhead Beef is a huge, huge, huge company. They are the largest wholesaler of beef east of the Mississippi. East of the Mississippi River, the half of the United States. They are one of the largest, if not the largest. They're a Cisco company. Cisco is a company that is in every state in America. They are the largest food service distributor out there. So here's William Jack Deagle working directly with ranchers when he's buying his meat from the largest east of the Mississippi. Now, to give the benefit of the doubt, Jamie, I called and did some research with Buckhead Beef. I knew the answers ahead of time, okay? I knew the answers ahead of time. Buckhead Beef does not own any ranches. They don't own ranches at all. They never go to ranches. They don't own processing plants. They don't own kill floors. They don't own any of that. What they do is they buy beef, and they admitted to me on the phone on September 25th. I made 8 phone calls that day, right, Jamie? You can't get through to anybody. They're very tight-lipped. They wanted to direct me to the vice president of the one office. I asked some simple questions to the guy on the phone, and he opened up and gave me answers, which I was shocked because these beef companies are very tight-lipped. What Buckhead is they're considered a furtherer processor. He admitted to me on the phone that they buy their beef from IBP, Iowa Beef Packers. Iowa Beef Packers is the largest beef company in the country, if not the world. They contract with something like 4,000 to 7,000 farms. William Jack Deagle, you are not. If this is the case, if you're buying from Buckhead and Buckhead's buying from IBP, there's no way that you're working directly with the ranchers, and they're not lush green pastures. The way beef works is you have a guy who calves it, who then sells that cattle off in the auction to a guy who grazes it. The guy who grazes it, these guys want to feed the cattle as little as possible because they're going to then throw it into an auction. And these auctions, at about 14 months, they go into consolidated feedlots. So by the time, they wouldn't answer the question, Jamie, of what age the cattle are processed. I'm assuming they're being processed between 18 and 22 months, which is average, maybe 24 months. But at 14 months, typically, cattle go into consolidated feedlots. They go into dirt. And they get pumped hormones, antibiotics, all kinds of fillers, and pumped full of grain. So lush green pastures, Jamie, do the math. These cattle haven't seen lush green pastures in 8 months, 10 months they haven't seen lush green pastures. So for you to write lush green pastures is a total misdeception of what their cattle are coming from. It's just like this picture of these cattle grazing. We buy from Maple Grove in Callicoon, which is 45 minutes up the road. The cattle are 100% grass-fed, grass-finished. They don't see grain at all. Those are lush green pastures here in upstate New York in the Catskills. Stuff coming from IBP does not get finished on lush green pastures. It hasn't seen lush green pastures for 8 months. And it's ridiculous for even to state this. And they're fed a high-quality corn-based ration. No, they're fed most likely genetically modified corn that is proven to cause tumors in animals. This is their so-called high-quality corn-based ration diet. So we buy from another ranch up the road. We buy from a very nice ranch up in Stone Ridge where the cattle are on lush green pastures, but the owner takes once a day, he takes corn and grain out to the cattle and feeds them, okay? So the animals do live on lush green pastures with a corn supplementation. Jack has totally worded this all wrong. If the case is that he's buying from Buckhead, which the bartender said yes, the bartender was new, and the bartender said, I'm going to go check with the chef where we buy our beef from. Comes back 2-3 minutes later and says, we buy from Buckhead. That was directly from the chef. We buy from Buckhead Beef, okay? All right, so high quality ration. Okay, so now he says the United States. Now he says the United States agriculture's highest grade is prime, only 2%. You're not getting these ranchers who only raise 2% of prime beef to do your exact specifications. You're buying prime beef from Buckhead that is conventional, that's nothing natural about it at all, and you're saying that they're raising to your exact specifications. No, you've adopted their specifications and you're buying their specifications, is what it is. Jamie, I cannot believe when I read stuff like this, there's so many chefs out there that are doing the right thing, buying and working directly with ranchers and advertising as such and doing the right thing. And you have somebody like this who just is total fabrication of what he's doing. It outrages me to think that and the guy has a TV show on top of it. And he's like renowned, like, oh, this guy, you know what? He should be watching his own restaurants. He should be monitoring his own restaurants, because we got more on this. What's next, Jamie, on this?
So, you called about, or actually, as you were looking at the menu, you realized that the Kobe meatballs are $15.
Right.
And then his Kobe beef is market price.
Market price. So they list Kobe beef in 2 locations of the menu. Kobe meatballs for how much? $15?
$15.
$15, and a Kobe steak, which they couldn't tell me the cut. I called the Bayside location and also asked the bartender at the location we're physically at. I said, are these Kobe meatballs real Kobe, or are they, I gave him both options, real Kobe or American Wagyu? He goes, real Kobe, was what he was told. It's real Kobe. Then I called the Bayside location. I asked the same exact questions. Interested in your Kobe beef? Is the Kobe beef meatballs real Kobe? Yes, they're real Kobe. I said, Kobe from Japan? They go, yes. And I go, how much is your market price Kobe steak? They threw out a price like $250. And I said to her, I said, excuse me, you're going to charge $250 for a steak. How big are the Kobe meatballs? She goes, oh, they're big enough for an entree. And I said, you're telling me they're big enough for an entree, they're only $15, and the steak is $250. I said, it's real Kobe? She goes, it's real Kobe. I said, can you please double check with management if that's real Kobe or American Wagyu? She came back a couple minutes later and said, I checked with our manager, I apologize, it's American Wagyu. And I said, thank you, that's what I assumed based upon the price. American Wagyu is $5 a pound ground. Now realistically, Kobe Japan only produces maybe 200 animals a year for consumption. That's not a lot. A few years ago, the exact numbers were like 191 animals a year. There's realistically, on those numbers, there's realistically only enough for 1,000 hamburgers to be made or whatever that are going to be imported into the U.S. So it's not like Kobe beef is in abundance. It's still a very small produced, hand-raised beef. The cattle are much older than those 18 months. I mean, some of the cattle go 3-4 years. So they really pack on the fat and pack on the tenderness based upon their lack of movement and the intermuscular fat. So here, Uncle Jack here, he does this monitoring of other people's restaurants, right, Jamie, on the Food Network or whatever network he's on. I think he should be monitoring his own restaurants, find out what his own staff is saying, maybe train his own staff, because that's downright misdeception, food fraud. It's downright misrepresenting, it's downright lying on a trademarked name, which I find as a chef, as a colleague, unacceptable, totally unacceptable. So we spoke to the Bayside location. That phone call was made on September 25th in the afternoon, and that's when we spoke to the hostess who actually went back and forth with the manager on this. But you just can't ramble off things like that and just say, oh, this is this and this is that and that, and not train your staff to know the difference. Because Kobe is a trademark, I'm suggesting to Uncle Jack's Steakhouse that they remove the word Kobe in anything that's associated with American Wagyu, and you need to list it as American Wagyu, because most consumers are going to automatically think and not even ask, right, Jamie? Oh, this is Kobe, this is real, I just ate real Kobe meatballs. And then when they ask to be confirmed, it's totally unacceptable. So I'm really outraged by this. Like again, I said, I personally don't know Jack. It's probably a great restaurant, he's probably a nice guy, but based upon our research and our observations and our follow-up with their beef company, I think he needs to really reword his whole beef philosophy. Jamie, would you agree with that?
I would definitely say he needs to make lots of changes on the philosophy on the back of the menu, and make sure that he's training his staff as best as possible.
Yep. And if I'm wrong, if I got the wrong answers and I went about this the wrong way, I apologize. But based upon our research, I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. Thank you for watching.